I think this is an interesting time because even those of us who would describe ourselves as optimistic, glass half full people are being challenged in our beliefs.
It's really exposed every weakness, no matter how small, no matter how large, how systemic, how minor, how individual.
And we were really the first urban area, the first downtown in the United States to feel the economic effects. So there was really nowhere else to turn to sort of understand what we could expect as we started to shut down and lock down way back in early March. So the effects have been really devastating.
I have probably 25 ground floor businesses, so customer facing businesses that have been impacted, are in categories that have been impacted by the government mandated shutdowns. Over half of my ground floor businesses are owned by or co-owned by people of color or women or LGBTQ members of the community or, all of the above.
Across our city, we've already seen more than 200 small businesses announce their permanent closure, more than 140 in downtown alone.
The data we're seeing, people talking about inequities and oppression within systems, that's not news. For many of us, that's been what we've dealt with our entire lives. What is good is there are folks who have not had to wake up and go to sleep aware and thinking about that, who are now aware and thinking about it and wanting to champion work.
The roots of racial injustice exacerbate and further the unemployment rates, but also are really key elements to the climate crisis and the climate injustice.
We have to do the hard work of addressing systemic racism, of addressing needed police reform, of ensuring that we don't go backwards on community safety, of ensuring that we're making a difference for those that are out on the street.
We have something like 11,000 unsheltered folks in King County right now, I think. We all have to take responsibility. I am appalled by how people really just don't want to have to see the problem. Again, it comes down to you have to want to be part of the solution.
I think this pandemic, both within our own city and region, and certainly around the country, has really shone a bright light on the inequities within our community and in our country, and it has widened them. And it has reminded us of the significant amount of work we have to do.
I don't know that I'm looking for us to be the national leader. I'm looking for us to fix our issues right here at home. And then if people see something as we gain some traction, and if people see that, oh, that's working in Seattle, let's try it in Spokane, let's try it in Chicago, let's try it in DC.
In many cases, we know exactly what change needs to be made. And so that sense of urgency and that sense that we can't afford to wait anymore really is my big lesson from this year.
I have seen cross-sector collaboration in a way that I have not seen in multiple decades of my career.
I think that whether it's a financial decision or recommendation, educational, governmental, economic, employment related, any of these decisions fundamentally should be advancing justice instead of seeing racial equity as an additional and separate effort.
How do we rebuild better, both in downtown, but really across our city, and really address the needs of marginalized communities, particularly the Black community in Seattle?